Hello and welcome on in to today's Albion Online video. We're going to be doing a lot of farming today. Here's what we're starting with, if anybody was wanting to track that. But we're going to be moving pretty quick. We got 3 islands to do. So we're going to be covering how you can use islands to make millions of silver. And right now it's going to be a lot easier. This is going to be a very time-sensitive window. So if you're seeing this, you want to take advantage of this now. And if you're watching this in a few weeks or even months, you're not going to be as easy. It's still possible, but you're going to have to be a lot more careful. So we're just going to run around and we're just going to start harvesting. Not sure that was supposed to be wheat, but we're going to plant wheat anyway. So today we're making beef stews. And so, really kind of simple recipe. It's just raw beef, bread, which you'll need wheat for, and then pumpkins. And so if you're setting up your islands, you can do this with just as few as 6 plots. All it is just, you're going to want 1 pasture for your beef, you want 1 pasture for your wheat, and then you want 2 for pumpkins. And the reason you want 2 for pumpkins is you'll need pumpkin to both feed your cows and for the recipe itself. So you'll need twice as many pumpkins as everything else. So yeah, just 4 plots, you could start doing this. I'd also advise, I wouldn't just necessarily copy beef stews, because prices will start going down. They have been. You know, when I started doing this, we sold our first batch for I think 24k a piece. And they now dropped to, yesterday they were doing for about 15, 16. And they will continue to drop. And in some cities they're already down to 11k I saw yesterday. So this is just going to keep dropping. But for the time that we have this method, it is really good money. And you can't go wrong with it right now, because the ingredients to grow yourself are just stupid cheap. But again, prices are dropping. You know, carrots day 1 were selling for 3k a piece, and they're already down to the normal, about 300 silver, which is, I don't know about Asia, but that's pretty typical for what they sell for on West or the American server. In fact, most of the ingredients are getting down there. Raw beef is still very expensive, and pumpkins are still very expensive, although pumpkins are a lot closer. They were yesterday like 700 silver. And they'll keep dropping until they're about 300 as well. And so, yeah. Take advantage of this while you can. And mostly, once you get this going, it's just a little... I mean, I enjoy it, but it can be very tedious. Especially when you have a bunch of farms going. But yeah, you can start doing this with very small amounts. It's just keeping your, the key is keeping your proportions correct. Which can be a bit difficult, and you're never going to get it perfect because there is some randomness to how much you get. As far as, you'll get the same beef every day, because that is fixed, but every time you're harvesting crops, it is a dice roll as to how many you get exactly. Something you might notice that we're not using focus. And there's 2 reasons behind that. The first reason is we don't need to. Like, we're going to make so much money, as you'll see here in a little bit, that it doesn't really matter. We can just buy new stuff and replant and still make millions of silver. And that will change, again, as prices keep going down, as more people get up to the level 100 crop grower and animal breeder, it will keep going. But again, take advantage while you can. If you're at 100, you know, beef stews are good, roast porks are really up there, pork pies up there still. I haven't checked a lot of the other foods. Potato salad I saw was still pretty expensive as well. If you're not quite at 100, you know, take a look at prices and see what you can grow. And you can make a lot of money. But we rushed beef stew as fast as we could. just to get here, and we've been doing this for a few days, and profits are going down a little bit each day, but again, it's still well worth it. And if you're wondering, how do you get started with farming? Well, it's pretty simple. You'll need premium. You'll need at least 7 days of premium, so you can't just get it from your 3 free days from the tutorial. But once you accomplish that, there's an island merchant in every town, and you can just go out there and buy it. If it's your first town, they're pretty cheap. But after that, they get very expensive. And so, how I did it, because we'll be doing 3 today. I have my first character, and then I just paid the $5 package for a week of premium, that way the other 2 could have island access. So, you do have to make the decision of either you have to save up a good chunk of in-game silver to pay for premium if you're going to have multiple islands on multiple characters that way. Which, wrong one. Gold's up a bit today. Right now it's 14.2 mil, which is crazy. Otherwise, yeah, $5. You get the 7 days and you have it. Or if you're going to do something with those characters, you could always get the 30 days of premium and actually do something with them, but I like just having one character for everything. I'm not big on the multi-characters and having a crafter and a combat person. I just like having my character. I do have a place for one of my ults just to run around and check market prices for me, so I don't have to strip my character naked every time I want to check markets. Works out really nicely, but you don't need premium for that. But then once you have your premium, go to the merchant. Your first island, I think, is 20k silver if you don't have any global discount, depending on where that's sitting at. And then it goes up from there. After that, it starts at 1 million, depending on the global discount. Okay, so this island is done. Hold on, I would wanna... Now I'm doubting myself if I got that middle plot or not. I tend to forget that one. Let's just double check real quick here. No, see. Tend to miss this one. And that hurts profits. But this is a nice, chill way. It's pretty risk-free, because usually on West, there are times where it doesn't work out. But the vast majority of the time, if you just have premium active, the yield that you get from your seeds is still more than the cost of buying seeds as long as you have premium. And then you don't need to use focus. Now, the profits are not anything to run home about, but it is a nice chill way to make some extra money. Again, you want to double check prices, make sure you're not doing something that is unprofitable, but generally speaking, if you do it enough, you will make a little bit more money than your seed costs. Once you get your islands paid off, anything else is profit. Because buying the island, it's a one-time cost. The other advantage of getting in early is all these islands are paid for, other than the very first one, just from the profits from the other islands, and just snowballed it. Other than, you know, the $5 to get my other 2 characters a bit of premium. Everything else has just been profits from islands going into more islands and more plots. And now we're at a point where we're going to start stacking silver. I mean, I say that, but it's probably going to... I bought a shadow collar, and it's probably all going to go into that. Getting that awakened and being beefed up. I suppose this was supposed to be wheat. I had these 2 islands set up the exact same. So, yeah, I'm expecting about, if I had to guess, I'm going to say our estimated value will be about 4.4 mil on all of our beef stews. We'll see how close we get. I did not check the prices in Thetford this morning, so we'll all be surprised. Again, if you're wondering what the best thing to grow is, right now, just about anything is profitable. There are things that are more profitable than others. I said, the higher tiers, if you can grow them, they're still holding their value, but that won't last for much longer. And I say that could be a few weeks. Just kind of depends on how hard people hit things. And you see me, I'm hitting it very hard. I have 3 islands just in Thetford, working with 3 of my own, and then I have a friend that we're partnering with. So I got one of his that we're working with. And then I've got in Lyndhurst and Bridgewatch another island. Although those both only have 6 plots. So it's working with a lot. It takes me about 2 hours each day to get everything done. Which, again, can get very tedious, but I enjoy it. It's very relaxing. You know, forget Farming Simulator 2022. This is where it's at. The life of a humble Albion farmer. It is also nice that now all the islands, for personal islands, do have all of them can be farms. You can also build crafting stations. No, we don't want to deal with the frog. On your islands, I wouldn't recommend it unless you're struggling with something. Just because you do get the return rate in town, which more than outweighs your crafting fee. Well, that's another thing to check, you know, profitability and whatnot. Especially since they lowered that to a cap of 1,000. You can't really do too much damage, unlike when it was 10,000 every time the cartels are angry at something. So, the other use of islands that I would advise is laborers. Can make a video about that sometime. It'll be a while before I convert any of these farms, but I do laborers on the American server quite a bit, and it can make good money. Again, it's a lot of upfront cost, but then once you have it down, it's just printing money. Because if we use our focus on this, which, you know, you can just have alts just to focus your crops, and then you're pretty much, it's just free. Especially once you get the high specs up, it's just free. It's just a little bit tricky because premium is so expensive, but that's how people, way back in the day when premium was 3 mil, you can make 30 mil just by farming carrots. And then you can buy 10 more characters with premium. Those were the days. But people saw that, people took advantage of it, and prices went up. So, a little bit harder to do. Not that you can't if you do it well, but you just gotta be careful at what line you're hitting it. Again, like, islands are just a question of how much money you want to invest in them, and then how much time you have. Another benefit to crops over laborers is if you suddenly take a break for whatever reason, you get ganked 3 times in a row in the mist by a double-bladed staff, and you're like, I'm sick of this game, never touching it again. If you have laborers, if you don't collect the journals, within 7 days, they just get deleted. They are just gone. You just lose that journal and then any resources you would have gotten. With farming, it just sits here. Whether you're gone for a day, a week, a year, it just sits there waiting for you to come back. So if that sways your decision any way or the other, that is a factor. Again, I don't think that's really too much of a concern for most people, but if that's something that you're concerned with, then keep that in mind when you're deciding if you want to do laborers or farming or other activities on your island. That is a thing that you gotta keep in mind. But, I mean, other than that, you know, very chill, very risk-free way of making money. And yeah, with the server being new, I think it's been over, what, 2.5 weeks now? 3 weeks now, something like that. You know, things are still very new. People are just getting tier 8. You know, for me, I just got it, I think 5 days ago. So, a lot of money to be made, but as more and more people get it, prices will keep going down to a point where they stabilize. Which overall is a good thing, but it just means that the big money to be made is right now. Yeah, and this island, as you can see, isn't quite fully upgraded. Which I could, but I spend enough time as it is already on this, and the next upgrade I think is 5.5 mil. So I was like, yeah. At this point, I don't know if the returns are gonna be worth putting that much money in. They probably are still, but I'm a little skeptical, and I have enough islands right now where my needs are well met. So no real reason to do it. We're gonna go through the whole process. We'll go and we'll show you the crafting that we gotta do. And all that. Don't you worry, there will be some other stuff other than just farming here. We're almost done. We just got this bit of island left, and then we'll be right on to the next thing. Glad that we don't have to listen to the cows anymore after this. These are the last 2 cow plots. They get a bit annoying. I wasn't sure. I finally upgraded to tier 6 ox yesterday, so I don't know if I need the pie still. But I did take a pie with me just in case. I don't have to move super slowly. But it seems to be holding out pretty well. Good little investment, not having to make multiple trips. Saves a lot of time. Oh yeah, we just finished off our pumpkins here, and I got a bit more wheat. And we'll go into some pain points that I have with the crafting process. It's nothing that really affects profitability, it's just irritating. And most of that's not really an issue on West because the economy is so developed, and Europe will get there in due time. And maybe today, we'll see some of those issues fixed. I keep hoping. But we'll go into that once we get back to town with all of our lovely ingredients. I don't know exactly what my pain points are. Comment below if you can guess what I'm going to be lamenting here shortly. And then hopefully it's fixed today. Hopefully somebody steps up, but I doubt it. I've been hoping that the last few days and nobody has yet. Got slightly worse even. So, we'll see. 3 plots left. Just grab all this. I think today we can just go, we have enough wheat to go all wheat. Oh well, we'll still split it just in case. Well, yeah, we'll just do wheat. Seems like we have plenty of pumpkin right now. Or well, we'll put 3 pumpkins in. You always need slightly more pumpkins than you think you do. And I'll go into the reason why. It's not a huge amount, but you do need a bit more pumpkin. And then there will be our leftover starting materials, which we'll just resupply tomorrow. I'm at this correct. I think it's about 400k, but you can subtract all that and do the math yourself. I just bought it from the merchant because I've tried putting buy orders in. I generally get overcut. Okay, so now we have all the ingredients. First step, we're just going to grind some flour. That'll be the very first thing we do. And the reason I have a mill on my island is there just weren't any in town when I started doing this. Oh, resource percent 9. Is today a food bonus day? It must be. Let's look. I didn't check the activities today. Yeah, it is 10% food. I don't know why there's a slight discrepancy between the 9 and 10%, but I'm not going to complain. Oh yeah, let's eat our pie here. We're not too overweight, but once we butcher, we'll have more weight. Okay, so now we have flour. Now, so here's why you need double the, or not double, but more pumpkin than you think you need. You get a double return rate on your wheat, because if you get a mill in town, you'll always get a return rate on the mill, but I don't think there are any. Yes, still none that I'm seeing. Okay, so here's my pain point. And ooh, it is solved. So I've been having to use this butcher over here, and actually he has food in it. But this is a much better deal. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna run over there. But the dude has not had food in that butcher for days, and so I've been having to feed it, and then you buy your food, you feed it, and then you have to pay a usage fee on the food that you just gave it. It's really annoying. It really doesn't cut in the profitability too much, because carrot soups are pretty cheap. Oh, where's that butcher? Oh, down there. Okay. But still really annoying that you have to buy your own food and then pay a usage fee on it. So you can use focus, which just increases your yield. Otherwise, we're getting a 15% yield for free. Paid 61k. And then bam, just all slaughtered. And now, so you get a yield on that. And then this is what I mean by double yield. So now we have to take our wheat, and we're going to have to cook it into bread. And we're going to get a 21% return rate on that. 37k we're spending to make our bread. So yeah, you get a lot more bread than you do from your wheat, because you're going to get a return rate from milling it and a return rate from processing it into bread. Okay, so that's a lot. So now we can come down here and we have beef stews. So we're going to be able to make 250. Yeah, I don't have quite the focus, but 250, 21% return rate, 162k it's going to cost us. Now I wasn't anticipating this being a food bonus day, so the numbers will be higher. I'm hoping we get around 5.5 mil today, if this is the case. The other thing is I want to make sure that all my beef is used up, because that's the hardest thing to get. If I have extra bread or extra pumpkin, you know, I'll just sell that at the end, but I like having all the raw beef used up, because we know that's a stable thing. And you might be looking at this and you're like, well, you know, just add another pasture. And the problem is that, okay, if I add another pasture, it means 2 more pumpkins have to go in, and I just don't have the plots. And then it's going to be, okay, then how much wheat do I add? And I'm very happy with where I have it set at right now. You know, if we use up all the beef, yeah, we have some pumpkins and bread left over, but that's fine. I'm perfectly fine with that. And yeah, we're just crafting. As you see, our weight's still going up. Okay, so now we're going to be able to make another 60. And I am going to dump some focus into this, because it is a refining bonus day. So this isn't quite focus free, but we'll check price at just 250, because that's about what I get without it being a refining day. But I want to take advantage of this being a bonus day and get as much out of here as we can. Use up our focus we've been saving the last couple days. We don't need to focus on the last batch because we're not going to have enough beef anyway. So yeah, that's where I like it. You know, our beef is pretty much used up. We do have some extra pumpkin and bread. And we got 360 beef stews. So that should be quite the pretty penny that we're going to be sitting on. So let's run over to the market. And we'll see how much money we're going to make from all that. That's a very successful day. Now, ingredients you can keep, and if you want to be a little more active about it, you can be swapping out daily between pastures and farms and that. How much you're doing to more optimize your ingredient use. Otherwise, you know, just use what you can. Okay. So beef stews. First of all 360. That's 4.3. So yeah, they've dropped quite a bit because yeah, they're 15k this time yesterday. That hurts. So we're at 4.3 mil. If we were just to do 250, 3 mil. So either way, huge profits. And that's going to be every day as long as the prices stay somewhat stable. They might tick back up a little bit tomorrow, but I doubt it because there's going to be so much food made today. The last pro tip of the video. Do small increments of sell orders. Because if I were to dump this whole sell order, I'm going to pay 300k about in a setup fee. And then if somebody undercuts me, I have to pay this again every time. Well, you don't have to necessarily pay the premium tax that comes after, but the setup fee you're going to pay every single time you alter your sell order. So if you do small amounts, now we're only paying that 9k setup fee, and if we have to alter it, it'll be a much smaller one. So it does take a little bit more time, but I like just setting these smaller orders. And then just coming in here and just keep an eye. See, immediately undercut. And that'll happen. But that's the video. So comment if you have any questions or if you need any tips on how to set up farming. If you're looking for stuff, just come into the consumable tab, do cooked. I like to do enchantment 0 just because enchanting food's a whole different beast. You'll need fish sauce and whatnot. And that's a lot of other math, but just come into here and just be like, okay, roast porks. They're going for 9k right now. Look at your ingredients. Figure out, okay, is this profitable to make? Again, right now, just about everything is profitable until you get to like the tier 4 stuff where that's... Again, you have to run numbers, and this might still be profitable, but comparatively, you know, like that, you're just making money right now. Beef sandwiches, 13k. Mutton sandwiches are still up there at about 3k. This is about where like the tier 8 foods sit. When you look at like the sandwiches, the stews, they're about 3k, depending on the day. The fish, keep in mind when you're looking at this, unlike all the other foods, you only get 1 per craft of this. So you're going to spend 1 eel, 1 turnip, 1 burdock, but you only get 1 stew. So do keep that in mind when you're crafting these. If you do any of the fish foods. But yeah, just come in here and just take a look at what's... Yeah, see, that's way down. These we were selling for 15k at one point. It was crazy. And we sold chicken pies really early for 25k. You know, we got in right about here. Where was it here? Somewhere in here. We sold them for stupid money over in Martlock. Even then, 600 is pretty expensive still for that. But yeah, just go through, take a look, and see what you can craft, see what you can grow, and you'll make lots of money. But that's it for the video, so comment below if you have any questions. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and you all have a great day. Bye!